Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kayfabe Today podcast. My name is Eric. You can follow me on Twitter once again because I'm free. They released me out of Twitter jail at MTL Broski, and I'm here today with almost a full cast of characters. I'm here, of course, with Mr. Reliable, the other half of the Can-Am Delights, Travis. What's going on, Travis? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Good to be back. Hope you had a good week. And I should call you Nails because you are the prisoner fresh out of jail with the prisoner gimmick. Glad you're out. Good to be back.
Call me Tupac because I'm out on bail, fresh out of jail. Kayfabe Today podcast living. doesn't quite have the same ring to it. And I'm also here with my son, the rambunctious Robbie Radford. Hello, Robbie.
1, 2. Is this on?
It was better when we opened up the Skype call with that. Next week, you got to have the music queued up. Come on. This isn't a fucking rinky-dink little operation
okay, I'm going
here.
to bed.
No, he's too rad, too bad. Let's get it right. It's Robbie Radford, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
So how's it going,
Thanks,
boys?
Travis. Yeah. I'm good.
It's a good week of wrestling.
I'm sober.
Sober. Yeah. Yuck. You're off the show.
It was. I will say, SmackDown and Raw and NXT and the 205 Live were all very good this week.
I watched half of those.
I'm in a great mood to talk about the graps.
We actually might come out of this podcast sounding positive for once, which is strange territory for us.
Yeah.
Although I think we're pretty fair. We give credit when credit is due.
We're honest.
Yeah.
Well, most of us do.
Kayfabe Today, the most honest podcast on all of YouTube.com. Until we start some drama for no reason, just to get views.
Yeah, I want to announce today that Kayfabe Today have officially declared war on MLW.
Yeah, fuck them. Me and Travis got into something with a guy who works for them today. It was very friendly. I think he was trying to be funny, but he wasn't really. And that offends me more than if you're a dick to me, I admire you for trying. Like, I think it's cute that you tried. But if you try to be funny and you fail, that offends me more than if you call me, like, a faggot. Can't ban me on YouTube, fuck faces.
I thought it was more a case of, I thought it was funny. It was, here's a guy who was white knighting his quote-unquote friends who he pays a good amount of money to hang out with him. And at the end of the day, the Young Bucks, to pander to them. He works for MLW, you know what I mean? So, whatever, you poked our bear, man. You came into our cave and
that's what
got our honey.
That was the funniest thing. Like, me and Travis were just talking, then this guy jumps in, and then when we both respond, and at that point, we weren't being rude. There was no name-calling, nothing quite out of character for me. I'm jail scared.
Well, basically what happened, I guess, real quick. I saw that I was blocked by Matt or Nick Jackson. I can't remember which fucking one, because let's be real, they both blend together for me at the end of the day. And I've never remembered, to my knowledge, ever slandering or adding them or anything to them. And I was just like, wow, that's hilarious. But it turns out this guy from MLW, and I can't remember his name, honestly, and I don't really.
I don't either.
But he was like, yeah, well, these are pictures or memes from when you did from a year and a half ago.
And it was so tame. The stuff that he was sending you was like, you weren't even insulting them at all.
It was like a Han Solo gif and it was like a Waylon Mercy joke or something.
You hear that,
like
Jack of Twitter? He's posting Han Solo gifs. Get this man in Twitter jail. Jesus.
I guess, but apparently that's enough to get you blocked. So they're Star Trek fans.
You know
guys.
what? I've been thinking about this all day because you being blocked by the Young Bucks makes me very happy. It means most of us on this show are blocked by the Young Bucks, and most of the guests.
It means I can get a shirt too. I get to join the clique now. I'm in it.
But it's, I'd like to believe, and this is what I've been telling myself all day, so I've had a really good day. I like to believe that they saw that you were associated with me in some way, and that because you were, and they hate me so much that they blocked you just because we're friends. That's what I've been telling myself, and I got to tell you, I've had a little extra spring in my step all day.
You're like a great Deku tree from The Legend of Zelda, and you're dripping shit from your leaves, and I'm standing on the ground eating the shit as it falls in my mouth. So
you're gaining my wisdom.
Yes.
And then Jay Baca.
You know what? For me, really, I don't hate the Young Bucks. I think they're unoriginal. They're talented in the ring for what they do. They're silly, yeah, but I've never going out of my way to try to get blocked by them. But this just proves my point. A lot of guys have thin skin that are heels that shouldn't be heels in this day and age. And whatever, fuck you, Young Bucks.
I admit the Becky Lynch thing is completely irrational. I just don't like her. But the Young Bucks, I don't think two wrestlers have ever rubbed me more the wrong way than those two guys. There's just something about them. I don't like them. And
See, I've always wanted to like them since day one. I feel like I've always tried to give them a chance. I really have. I've tried, and there's always a way they find to just go for me. It's cringy, and I don't know.
I think it's
I
because
just
I
never had like despised them. I just thought they were cocky.
I think it's because I think and I'm probably completely wrong, and I'm totally delusional. But I think if we got into a one-on-one fight, I could hold up against a Young Buck, and I don't want to watch a guy who I could fucking fight. I don't want to watch that tiny little fucking nothing. Like, I'm like 175 pounds with rocks in my pockets. I think I could take the Young Bucks, though. Maybe both of them at the same time.
I guess what stood out to me the most is how old these tweets were, and I guess to just now get blocked by them.
Well, the thing is that what got me was that the dude went out of his time, even if it takes 2 seconds like he claimed, that he went out of his way to find your old tweets. That's so sad. Don't you have anything to do at MLW? Or it's like your schedule's so loose that you can go look up people's old tweets. I don't know. That was fucking when he posted those pictures. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to like have an aha gotcha moment. He just, I don't know, came off really sad.
Maybe it backfired because I actually laughed whenever I was like, "Oh yeah, I did talk about Waylon Mercy."
You're like,
no shit.
Oh, weed. Because it makes you forget. What do you have to say about this, Robbie? What would you do? Remember? Then I posted it while we were talking about it. I was like, could you imagine if they blocked Robbie? Would we have to put you on suicide watch?
I will say, Nick and Matt Jackson, if you are listening, which they will be because we're best mates.
I hate you. Yeah, if they are listening, you have no talent and you're fucking marks. Come on the show.
Actually, we have nicknames for each other. It's actually Nicky, Matty, and Robbie.
Robbie, your name is Robbie. That's not how a nickname works. Oh, actually, I guess no. Yeah, your name's Robert. Yeah, so Robbie's your nickname.
So,
fair enough. My bad.
So with the E's, Nicky, Matty, and Robbie.
I'm never calling you from now on. You're Robert, or I'll just call you son. I'm never calling you Robbie again. You've ruined it for me.
Well,
it's like if you dyed your hair red, I'd have to disown you.
Rambunctious Robbie Radford.
Yeah, the.
So I'm gonna turn up in Montreal, and it's gonna be 4 a.m, and you're just gonna hear outside. Like, I'm gonna stand outside on the street with a jukebox or a speaker above my head. And you're just going to hear, whoa.
Yeah, and then one of the fucking crackheads who's trying to sleep under my porch is going to come out and stab you.
If I survived West Philadelphia,
I'm just going to go pull on the boombox for crack.
Oh, you were in West Philly? Born and raised?
Oh, it's an absolute hellhole.
Tell me more about it. Since we don't really have anything to talk about, tell me more about your time in Philly, because you didn't seem to... You sounded like you were one step away from joining the Bloods of the Crips.
Yeah, okay. If you're ever familiar with Grove Street and San Andreas,
it's like one big fucking Grove Street, pretty much. Just a big.
Okay, so yeah, so it wasn't a cul-de-sac. It was a long road. Like, it was one of the main roads in West Philly, and we're above an Ethiopian bar, in the Ethiopian restaurant and bar, and it was a really awful apartment. And we went to go, like, there's 5 of us, and we thought, all right, strength in numbers. So we went to the local 7. We went to the local 7-Eleven, which I later pronounced Sam Ilam, because I was told that was the correct way to pronounce it.
Say that again.
People from.
Please say that again.
Say that again.
Okay, so.
Please.
So, okay.
Do it. Say it again, please, for us.
Sam Ilam.
So good.
What the fuck is that?
Because that's what one of the people from the neighborhood told us how to pronounce it.
You're from the country that invented the language. Don't listen to those people.
Hey, this guy had a
sounds like you're kicking off a show tune or something. Like you're getting ready to kick it in.
This guy had a do-rag on and Timberlands. I wasn't about to, like, dispute how you pronounce 7-Eleven.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, it's pronounced 7-Eleven. He's like,
went,
fuck you, nigga. You in America.
We're getting banned.
No, I'll bleep that out.
Okay, so
I'm not really
we went there, and I was stood outside. Like I'd got all my shopping in my bags. I'd probably got like Doritos and some dip for the McGregor Mayweather fight. And this guy came up to me and he had like one eye, and you know.
You talked to a cyclops?
And he came up to me. He came up to us as a group as we all walked out. And he went, "Hey, y'all got any change? I could do with some chicken wings," like that.
At least you know he's not getting booze. I would have given the guy a couple bucks.
And we went, and I was like, "No, I've not got no change." And he just looked at me and went, "You're gonna get stabbed tonight, brother." And just ran off. And I just looked at the rest of the group, and I was like, "Well, America has been fun."
Jesus.
And we just like, aside from like emergency like trips to the shops, or like if we were getting an Uber until like the middle of Philly, we'd just never leave the apartment.
They're down to a box of baking soda in the fridge. They're like, fuck, we gotta go out again.
It was literally like on like a dawn of, well, it was literally like The Walking Dead, in that we were like, all right, we're gonna go to the shops in shifts. If we're not back in 5 minutes, come looking for us.
Well, why'd you end up in Philly? Do you want to go see the ECW arena?
Well, we thought it would be quite a cultural place, which, I mean, it was. It was quite nice.
Did you go to Love Park?
Yes. Yeah, we did quite a bit of stuff. We actually had the best voted the best Philly cheesesteaks in Philadelphia.
Imagine that.
So that was fun. The rest of Philadelphia is completely forgettable.
Jesus. Oh, sorry to our Philly listeners, all one of you. Sorry, Jim.
Washington was better. I liked Washington.
See, I've been to both places, and Washington scared me a lot more than Philly did. But
well, shout out to Baltimore. I've seen my fair share of Universal movie monsters walking the streets late at night since I've been there in my time. Good God, you talk about an ugly, empty, just barrenless fucking city. And like the best children's hospital in the world, smack dab in the middle of the ghetto. It's insane how it's set up.
Woof.
Woof.
Come on, kids. Look at all the crack addicts. Yay!
Yeah.
I also remember we were watching the news. But no, not the news. We were watching like a TV show in Philly. Like, we were just sat in the apartment, and then it just went, like the signal cut off, and it just went, breaking news. And it was like in that like automated voice, it went, North Korea has fired a missile. We don't quite yet know the whereabouts of where it is going. Please take shelter. And we just sat in the apartment, just like, well,
Jesus
we're
Christ,
fucked. And then like 10 seconds later, it went, it is heading towards Japan, and we were like, oh. And then deep
thank
down,
God.
Oh my God. No, deep down, it's went, oh my God, Okada! Somebody tell Okada, get him to a shelter.
Nobody tell Omega. Somebody tell Omega to go see how many people are coming into the building. Yeah, go outside.
Tanahashi on the front line. Push him out front.
Hey, Kenny.
You know, I actually
Kenny,
got into
mind going to get my gear in the car? Oh, no, sure, pal, I'll go. And then when he walks out the building, you run behind him and slam the door shut and lock it.
You know, so this is the funny story I was talking about. I actually got into a really big argument at the airport.
Oh, God.
Okay, so I was wearing a Kenta Kobashi t-shirt.
Uh-oh.
And this guy
Terrorist.
just walked past and went, a Kobashi t-shirt. Sound like a Kobashi t-shirt. And I was just thinking, yeah, somebody recognized it. And then this guy said to his son, like they were just sat there, and the son was about 13, and he was wearing a DX t-shirt.
He told him to stab you.
No, he went, it's a shame he fucking sucked. And
You got trolled at the airport.
I just turned, I literally like pulled out my earphones. I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, man, Kobashi sucked. Mizawa was so much better.
He had his son tell you that he saw. You threw it to his son to segue it to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, the son told you.
Yeah, my dad
told you.
My dad told me to tell you that Kobashi sucks.
I bet he was.
Dad of the year.
So I just turned around and went, which one's your dad? And I walked over to his dad and I was like,
Did you big time him?
I walked over. Well, not really.
Get right in his face.
Chest
Chest bump him. The fuck you say,
hit him
punk?
with a burning hammer. No, I just remember walking over to him and just going, it's just unnecessary, that. And he's like, He's like, "No, I respect them both. I watched AJPW in the '90s, bro. I know better than you, bro. You're like 10, bro." And I was like, "Oh, fuck,
shit!"
You gave him like the "I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed."
I think we found last week's dislike. Thanks, Robbie.
He was literally Vince Russo in me. Like, bro, no, bro, you're like 10, bro.
Imagine Robbie was just like out of it, and he actually had like a 20-minute conversation with Vince Russo.
Never realized it.
Nah, because he looks like a really typical CZW looking fan, if you get what I mean. Like a proper.
His bag was probably full of wife beaters, and ripped jeans.
Well, he had like a proper neck beard and like glasses and like no hair and like
it was or XL.
It was something else.
His parachute pants are made with parachutes.
And then he tried to. What did he tell me? He told me something that really pissed me off. Oh, it was
God, I want Robbie to travel around the world and get into wrestling arguments with people in different airports.
He's like the wrestling Anthony Bourdain. Like, just make a series. Just go around.
Oh my God, that would be great.
I watched the ever-loving goddamn shit out of that show, Robbie.
Fuck yeah, I would.
TV execs on the phone, broski, and get this
happening. We need to get Robbie on TV.
Yes.
And put him in situations like meeting wrestlers, but in like random situations, like total fish out of water, and just watch him cluelessly get through the episode.
The worst way is like at the hotel at 3 a.m. and Robbie's in there and he's hungry and he's in a meeting at the front desk with another wrestler who's hungry, and it's just. I like to picture like if Robbie was ever rich, he would just walk around with like a loaf of bread, and he would have some person in behind walking with like a generator backpack and a toaster oven. He's just walking around town making toast and eating it to annoy people. The season premiere has to be Robbie walking around at the Performance Center, just like, asking questions about everything.
That whole Robbie fan fiction I just laid out there was like funny to me, but I don't care because this is my show, and I just think it's funny. I like making fun of Robbie because all the toast stuff happens before I start recording. For those of you who don't know, Robbie, for some reason, always waits till the last second to make toast before the podcast, and it drives me fucking nuts because then he thinks I can't hear him when he eats it. But then when I'm editing, all you hear is like, especially toast. It's like he does it on purpose.
You know what it does when he does that before the show? It leaves us with the crumbs. Oh, what?
Oh my God.
Jesus, I'm quitting the show, and Kayfabe Today is going on to Travis's channel. He deserves it more than I do.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a different food to eat on the pre-show every week.
Eat Jello.
And see, no, because I'll just start going.
Oh God. Well, yeah, but Broski's used to hearing that noise.
Oh dear. Your own biological son.
No, not from you, you sick fuck. Oh my God, this show is ruined. I dropped an N-bomb and you're talking about incest.
Well, just sounds like your average attitude error wrong.
Crazy, yeah, I was just about to say, this sounds like Vince McMahon in a creative meeting.
The episode of 97 Raw right there, pretty much.
There you go, and we tied it up with a nice little bow. That was nice. That was well done, boys.
LOL.
Yeah, that was well done, boys. You guys, you just impressed me. You've made me not regret putting you on the show. It's probably the nicest thing I'll say to either of you, ever.
Well,
so we got anything else to banter about randomly before we get into Raw and SmackDown? It's a nice little segment where we talk bullshit. Oh, you guys watched the Mae Young Classic. As we all know, I hate women, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I watched that.
How was the main event? Okay, I'm gonna say it because this is the last time we'll talk about it. But if my big German broad was in the main event, I don't want to know her name. Stop telling me. I like the big German broad. That's how I like.
I don't want to know her name.
No,
Keep
I don't.
From parts unknown.
I want to Google big German broad and find her. Actually,
I'm gonna Google that right now.
I was gonna say someone Google that. Tell us what you get. Welcome to Google Cast, where we Google shit.
Big German.
I guess I should mention that somebody I put on Twitter. I asked some people to ask us some questions, and we only got one. I didn't give people very much time, but I only got one. But it's about Kevin Owens, so we're gonna get to that when we talk about SmackDown. So Jason, thank you for your question, but we're gonna get to that when we get into SmackDown.
The first Like, the first thing is a German broad with big honkers walks into a bar.
Nice. See,
And
that's
then it
what I
just
want.
leads onto a Reddit thing.
Oh God, don't click
But
on
I
it,
will
Robbie.
say, I mean, the presentation of the Mae Young Classic, I just thought it was a complete horror show. Like, I really...
It looks plain.
Wait, what?
Like, what do you mean?
All right, okay, so it was after SmackDown,
Yeah.
and you could see, if you were looking out for it, of course, you could see people just filtering out, not like in droves, because they knew, you know, and they knew that this was happening. And then another thing was that the crowd just didn't know who they were. Like, do you remember how they did the final of the 205 Live?
No, I didn't watch that either.
Not the 205 Live. The the Cruiserweight Classic. They did it at Full Sail, where the crowd are familiar with them. They knew who they were. They've seen them, you know, qualify through the rounds. And by the time it got to the final, everybody was over. And with this, like, Shayna Baszler came out, and she got, you know, she got a bit of a reaction. I thought, all right, okay, let's hear it for Kairi Sane. Must have been about 100 people out of, you know, what was left.
Woof.
That kind of, like, knew who she was.
Did they put
I
this
just thought
before or
this-
after 205 Live?
This week. They
Like, 'cause-
went right after SmackDown and right before 205 Live.
Yeah,
Okay, so
That was
205 Live was after Mae Young Classic.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was just wondering
Um,
how long the people had been there when the Classic started. That's
Well-
basically what I was...
So, I mean, it was only like a 30-minute show. Like, it started at, well, for me, it started at 3 a.m. and ended at like 3:30. It was just one match.
That's so...
It was like it was literally like vignette and then the match and then like a
Yeah.
1-minute celebration ceremony.
I
That
hate
was
that.
it.
I hate that booking because SmackDown was so hot. SmackDown was so hot. The way, especially the way it ended, and then you're gonna put something else after that. The people
I
had spent.
almost kind of wish
So
that
stupid. Put it before. Make it your lead-in show, like a Sunday Night Heat led into the pay-per-view.
Well, I wish that, in a way, they had it during, like, well, at the end of SmackDown, but it was after the Kevin Owens segment. In that, say, the Kevin Owens segment started at, you know, 10 o'clock, and it ran to like 10:30. But then the last half hour of SmackDown, you know, I don't know the actual times, but like, say the last half hour of the SmackDown time slot was the Mae Young Classic.
Okay, so you
and
mean
they just transitioned
you
it.
mean because here it starts at 8, so by 9:30 have SmackDown over 9:30 to
Yeah.
10 Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I
Because
think
you
it would have
still
been
got a
better.
full-
I still think it would have been better to have at least the Mae Young Classic before. Have it first.
And plus the crowd would have been hotter too.
Exactly,
What?
because think of it. At this point, they've already seen 2 hours of what was an excellent SmackDown. And then you want to sit through another hour if you want to watch 205 Live and the Mae Young Classic. And it's just like...
I totally agree, but I gotta give it to this Vegas crowd. I was really worried when they came out for the women, got no reaction really either for their
Yeah,
entrance. But by the end of the match, the crowd was invested. They were on their feet. So
Oh, yeah, at least that's
shout out
good.
to the ladies for turning it. And it was a good match. I do think it was a really good match. It told a good story actually with working Kairi Sane's arm. And I wasn't overly enthralled with the tournament. The thing that killed it for me, presentation-wise, Robbie, that you were saying was, I think a lot of the crowd dubbing is killing a lot of wrestling for me now when it's a lot of tape stuff. And I think with the CWC, what made this feel different is every woman seemed like she got the same reaction in the dubbing. Like, women's empowerment, yay, everyone gets the same reaction. Trophies for everyone. You know what I mean? So
Woof.
that came off the dubbing. That took away from it. Fucking Lita is abysmal and needs to never do this again. Not even attempt.
God, she's
Oh,
even terrible in like the
ever.
like in the commercials for it and the promos for it. She's even terrible and like they use like 3-second clips, and I'm like, ugh.
She just doesn't have the voice for it.
No,
like,
she really
doesn't
doesn't.
have the voice for it, and she doesn't, like, she can't be color commentator. Like, it doesn't work.
Jim also took a lot of unneeded flack. I thought he did okay. I didn't think he did tremendous, but I thought he did well enough. And I do want to say, I thought the wrestling-wise, quality-wise, good matches in this. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to see a lot of these women down the future. Piper Niven, Tessa Blanchard, Toni Storm is a fucking star. Waiting
She's
to come
going.
up.
She's
Yeah.
going. Yeah.
It's all irrelevant
So
if a big German
liked it
broad
for
doesn't
more
join.
more positives than negatives for me at the end of the day with the Mae Young Classic after seeing all of it.
They have, they can sign quite a few people.
How does it stack
from the
up?
tournament.
How does it stack up compared to the CWC in the UK?
I don't think it was. It was the worst out of the three.
All right.
I in a way, close to home, I feel like for me anyway, the UK was the top one. I mean, only because I was there for both shows.
Mr. Braggy Pants, Mr. Braggy Brag.
No, but
to be fair though to Robbie, I wish I was there at that show because that was one of my favorite things they did last year.
It was the best atmosphere I've been in for a wrestling show, especially when Tommy N turned up. But another thing is, Alistair Black.
No, I know. I actually know who he is. He's not Japanese, so.
And then the thing with the CWC is that they had some like real top draw matches. Ibushi, Cedric Alexander was top draw, and the final was top draw, and Ibushi versus Perkins, I think. They had some really great matches. I don't think that, off the top of my head, that the women's tournament had any matches that I thought, holy shit, I'd watch that again. But they did good. They did good. I wouldn't watch it again. Like I
called
said,
my own bluff. Like I was sure as shit that Shayna Baszler, was going to win this as a vehicle to promote this four horsewomen feud. But I was wrong, and I called myself out. And I'm glad they did. This is kind of what it would have felt like if Ibushi would have actually won the CWC, like the Jap Grap favorite, pal, going all the way.
No, McMahon will never put a title on a Japanese wrestler.
Congrats to Kairi Sane, and I think they're going to go all the way with her as the to take the mantle for Asuka now in NXT down the road, I would say.
Well, it's weird as well.
Triple H just pulled a fast one. He's like, Vince will think it's Asuka, so maybe he won't fuck her up on the main roster.
Great question, Shelton.
How's she hearing in Tampa? These Japs have so much technology.
It's weird as well because, like, it's not really a hot take because everyone knows, but like, Kairi is way ahead of Asuka in terms of ability.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you let her go.
I finally saw her elbow drop. Hey, it's
a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's nice.
Very nice.
I like how she turns into a kind of rag doll.
Yeah,
when she does it.
Yeah, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. So that's pretty much the only thing I've seen of her. But
she's really, really good. I'd have nice. To, you'd have to watch some like Stardom shows.
Well, I guess it's announced that she's going to be at the next Takeover, correct?
Yeah, she is signed. So she's.
Well, I read that she's going to get a women's title shot. Is that how?
Yeah, as of right now, she's not winning it. They're going to put her into some fucking angle. But I believe that she will end up. Well, she doesn't have to get pinned, but I don't think she's winning it.
All right, then. There you go. We got our expert in female wrestling, Robbie Radford, on the case.
Oh, God. I don't really... it sounds really sexist. I feel like people are going to pull me up for it, but women's wrestling doesn't normally do anything for me.
Oh, my God, Robbie. It does something for me, but it's not for the wrestling, am I right? There you go. I joined you in Feminist Jail. Quick, Travis, say you like tits so you can join us.
Tits are amazing.
There you go, sexist pig, misogynist. Come join us.
Well, my leg is bleeding very heavily.
Wait, literally?
Yeah.
Why is your leg bleeding? What are you doing?
It's not your...
Robbie, what did I tell you about shooting up while we're podcasting?
I just scratched a cut next minute. It's like the fucking, like,
Robbie's
Niagara Falls down my leg.
He's juicing over here.
Yeah.
Red means green.
Oh, my God. Sitting by yourself next to your computer. I'm drawing tons of money here, pal. It'll be useful.
But yeah.
He's blading. He's blading his thigh. This is how they do it, right?
But no, the women's tournament was good fun, but I wouldn't watch it again in a hurry.
Well, there you go. Glowing review from Robbie Radford.
Exactly the same for me. I've never watched it again.
And I didn't watch it at all, so I'll never watch it.
The next one is meant to be a tag tournament, which could be really fucking good.
That could be great.
Yeah.
I hope they bring the Young Bucks in, and
Oh,
the Young Bucks go all the way, get to the final.
No, the
young Jim Cornette, you're gonna manage them.
I hope they bring in the Young Bucks and then they job them out in the first round in like fucking 30 seconds.
Like a really inexperienced Chinese team of like
to Gilbert and James Ellsworth. Call them the
Do you
Job
remember
Squad
back in like
in
99 when
2018.
Public Enemy first came to WWF and they totally jobbed out Public Enemy? I
Yeah,
kind of feel like that's what it would be with the Young Bucks if they came in.
that would be great. I'd fucking love that. I'd be so happy.
They could have so many great tag teams.
Do you know how many?
I can already think of loads.
Do you know how many Baz and Marketeers we could take if that happened? Dude, we would never need a
God.
refill. We'd have a constant supply.
Oceans.
It would flow like the river.
Build a dam.
I'd be like, fuck, melt the ice caps, evaporate all the water. We got Marketeers for days. We'll be fine. A little salty,
I
but you
actually
get
really
used
want
to
the
it.
tag tournament.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wouldn't mind that.
CCK, Gorillas
What
of
about
Destiny.
6-man tournament? They did like back in the day in NWA, they'd have 6-man tag team tournaments. That'd be
Oh,
pretty
like a
interesting,
King of
too.
Trios.
I'd love a faction war.
King of Trios type thing.
Yeah, like
Cara.
yeah.
A faction war would be sick. What was
I
that
want an
thing?
invasion.
What was that thing in WCW? Was it War Games where they had two
Yeah,
rings?
War Games.
Have a
Yes.
fucking faction
Yes.
war and call it War Games and just give people what they want. Let's get all these like
There's been
5-man
rumors,
groups.
like of that coming back, but Vince doesn't want to do he doesn't like the 2 rings thing. He thinks it's tacky. Vince McMahon thinking something's tacky.
Making
Probably
women
because it's not his idea.
making women bark like dogs,
Exactly.
acceptable. 2 rings, tacky. Well, boys, that's a half an hour of banter. So if people are still awake, we'll be right back with our Raw and SmackDown reviews. Everybody's...
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
Oh, you ruined that. We'll be right back.
If you're not tuned in to the Shining Wizards, listen to what some of our fans have to say about the show.
You guys suck. You suck, you suck, you suck. You suck, you suck, you suck. You guys suck, 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 suck.
Tune in live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. East, rantmradio.com. It's the Shining Wizards, where it's wrestling talk and talk about wrestling.
And we're back. Robbie needs stitches. He's currently bleeding out in his room somewhere in the UK. He's like Ric Flair. Once he starts, he's just not going to stop.
I'm just sat at the breakfast bar in the kitchen. It's fucking dripping.
Oh, the breakfast bar. Oh, if that doesn't sound like white privilege, I don't know what does.
I know my father. No.
And speaking of white privilege, let's get into Monday Night Raw, shall we?
What a segue. My God.
I don't know what you're talking about, pal. All right, here are your official results. Roman Reigns defeats Jason Jordan at 15 minutes and 20 seconds. I really like this match, but we'll get back to it. Cash Me Outside defeated Emma at 7 minutes and 23 seconds via submission. Bray Wyatt defeated Goldust at 2 minutes and 5 seconds via pinfall. Elias defeated Kalisto in 4 minutes and 15 seconds of my life I'll never get back via pinfall. John Cena defeated Braun Strowman at 13:20 via DQ. A non-title match, Enzo Amore defeated IC champion The Miz at 3:03 via DQ. And then Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Matt, and Jeff Hardy defeated Cesaro, Sheamus, Anderson, and Gallows at 13 minutes and 50 seconds via pinfall.
Good show. Good
Very
show.
good show.
Great show. Well, maybe not great, but very, very good.
Extraordinary.
I'm skipping the 9/11 stuff so I don't offend anyone. Overly patriotic bullshit as usual.
God forbid we forget.
Yeah,
I can't wait for a heel
Travis
to come out.
Actually, me
Says
and
it's
Robbie
a joke.
can forget, and it doesn't matter. But you, Travis, you can't forget.
Yeah, you'll never
I'm
forget.
not allowed.
Are you a real
I'm not
American?
allowed to forget.
Travis, are you a real American? Do you let your American flag touch the ground?
I gotta buy a bus.
Do you guys
You're
remember?
American.
Do you guys remember that woman in I think it's Fahrenheit 9/11, who had a son who went to Iraq and died, and then Michael Moore decided to take advantage of this and interview her, and he filmed
And he
her.
went to her house
Yes,
and all that stuff.
and then
yeah.
he films her putting out her flag, and she's like, it's the most beautiful thing in the world, this flag. It's such a beautiful flag. I never let it touch the ground when I put it up because I know the sacrifices. I'm like, Jesus Christ, woman. Simadana with the patriotism.
America.
Your son died in a war for oil. Oh, political. Whew. Hot takes, political takes here. Welcome to Politicast.
God.
Political cast.
As Robbie and Travis just hang up on me. And, and I'll just sit here and praise Trump to trigger people.
I'm having a great time on the show.
Well, speaking of great things, Robbie, just like Donald Trump wants to make America great again, I felt that this match right here, and if matches like this continue happening, they'll make Raw great again. God damn it, that was a reach, but it worked. Roman Reigns and Jason Jordan, once again this week, I thought Jason Jordan put out a tremendous, even in defeat, he looked fucking great, proving he can hang with the big boys like Roman Reigns and John Cena. Do you not agree, Robbie?
I, for one, am shocked that Roman Reigns had another great match. Oh, but, you know.
You're shocked?
It's not him.
Oh, no,
that's the worker.
You're just being sarcastic.
Yeah, I am. Because I'm lads, I'm getting bored of it. I'm getting bored of people telling me that Roman Reigns isn't good in the ring.
Yeah? You're getting bored of it?
See, if it was 2016, well, no, if it was 2015, I'm like, yeah, okay. But 2017,
nah, you got to let that narrative go at this point because it's just wrong.
Yeah, let it go.
Consistently,
but his promo work could be a bit better.
It's getting better.
In ring, don't you fucking dare tell me he can't go.
No,
you cunts.
Wow, hot takes from Robbie. He's angry. He's passionate about Roman Reigns.
It does.
Burying himself on the mic, saying how he draws now when it's not true and any of that.
My favorite thing.
We'll get to that.
What I think he does is he'll look at a John Cena top 10 moments and look at the top comments and go, "I'm gonna put that in my promo."
Yeah, he goes.
Well, they don't like you because you suck. It's my favorite line of any promo.
Yeah, it's very well done, Roman. Thank you for that.
No, forget Dusty Rhodes' The View Never Changes. It's all about they don't like you because you suck.
Yeah, forget about putting your hand.
Sir Lawrence Olivier over here, some fucking Shakespearean.
From the creator of such classics as Tater Tots, and they don't like you because you suck.
They don't like you because you suck.
They don't like you because, well, first of all, you suck.
Get the Roman Reigns promo on a tape. And then they just scroll, and then they just scroll his quotes up and down, and like every third one, some narrator reads it out loud, like those fucking compilation tapes from the '60s that used to exist. Tapes. Christ, did I date myself there?
With the 1-800 number at the end, they'd be like, "In his other hits, I retired the Undertaker."
Dude, I think I'm gonna turn that into a video. We're workshopping my next video right now. That's a fucking great idea. Just have quotes from Roman Reigns scrolling on the screen with like pictures of mountains and valleys and lakes and like it's. I
had
can
more
see it in
great
my
matches
head.
in 2 years than you did in 10.
Oh my god! Yeah, I got something brewing here, boys. Thank you for being.
That was a big one in Japan. That made the top 10 in Japan. That song.
Definitely, I think you might be right on that one.
I'm gonna start saying that to people.
What did you think of this match, Travis?
I agree too. I thought this was a good match. Once again, it was refreshing to see Raw starting off with wrestling and not a goddamn long-winded promo. I love that double Northern Light suplex that Jordan does. It's tremendous.
Oh yeah,
it
the mark in me really loves that move. Yeah, it's great. And I thought it did. I agree too with what you said, Broski. It did make Jordan looked really strong and some awesome fluorescent ring gear. His ring gear impresses me more and more each week. It looks more and more like Rick Steiner from the 90s, and I'm digging it. But storyline is still garbage at the end of the day, and that's what's sad about it.
But I feel like he's working his way out of that storyline. I'm more interested now in the past 2 weeks in him based off his matches, because he was always good. What the fuck are you doing, Robbie?
I'm making a chai tea.
I hate you. You're making a tea? What do you do? Are you like chopping up the herbs yourself?
I'm just stirring the cup.
Do you think in this case WWE is kind of just like they know how bad they messed up with that storyline? They're kind of just going to let it.
Well, they definitely don't mention it. They don't mention it as much as they used to in the
maybe
previous
once
weeks.
Or twice on this episode they mention it as opposed to like the 20 times the other weeks we would hear.
Yeah, every once in a while they'll be like, "Oh, Kurt Angle's son, Jason Jordan." Like they emphasize the name and kind of downplay the link to Kurt Angle.
They will say gold-blooded as often as they can. And I don't know how I feel about that name yet. I got to let it sink in some, I guess.
That's weird.
Yeah, not a big fan. Post-match, however, Reigns pulls a John Cena and shakes Jason Jordan's hand. And I think this is cool. I think this is cool what they're doing with Jason Jordan because he's kind of a pawn in the Cena and Reigns feud, but he still looks good. So they're not hurting him by having him lose. They're making it very clear that he's a rookie and that Cena and Reigns are like top tier, and he's hanging with them.
Yep.
So
they're 10+ minute matches and they're competitive. They're not squash matches.
Yeah,
it's weird how he's a rookie and he's wrestled more years than Reigns has.
Well, AJ Styles is a rookie in WWE if you think about it. Like, not anymore, but when they treated him like he was.
And Coco Beware's in the Hall of Fame.
Somebody get him a parrot. PETA would never let that happen.
He did sing Pile Driver, though, so that is worthy to go to the Hall of Fame.
That's a good point. It's so annoying whenever Robbie mutes his mic and unmutes. Stop muting and unmuting.
Do you want me to go on the mic?
Oh, you have a headset. That's true.
Yeah.
Get a mic, you fucking bum.
See, I would, but I can't justify it.
Yeah, you can. You podcast every week. Idiot. I'm sorry, that's mean. I'll send you one for your birthday. When's your birthday, Robbie?
February 19th.
I don't know when my own son's birthday is.
Yeah.
I literally panicked because I muted my mic just now and I thought I was going to get yelled at, so I unmuted it real quick because I was coughing.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You have medical reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to be scolded.
Of a hot beverage.
After the match, whatever Robbie's doing aside, after the match, John Cena made his way to the ring, and he kind of, they do the same kind of thing that they did last week, tossing some shade.
It was fun.
And it's funny that he said that Cena hasn't sold in 5 years, and WWE can make it without Cena, but Reigns says that Cena can't break into Hollywood, which would have been a cool couple years ago. Now he's kind of getting leads in pretty big movies like Transformers.
Fuck that film.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
He's right, though.
But he's right.
The I know a guy in Hollywood line was tremendous, though. I like that a lot.
I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
The Rock, dude. He's talking about The Rock. Because every Samoan is a cousin.
The guy that raised his hand when he won the Royal Rumble, his cousin.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't even watch that Royal Rumble.
That's the one where Daniel Bryan came in and got eliminated, right? And then Rey Mysterio got booed out the building.
Shattered Dreams, Gold Dust.
That was in Philly.
That was in Philly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've come full circle. Now we know why Robbie hates Philly so much. There we go. We've analyzed
They booed my favorite WWE wrestler. Those fucking dicks.
What? They didn't boo Kevin Owens?
Who?
How dare you? You know who he is, goddammit.
What, 405 Live Kevin Owens?
Well, I mean, shut the fuck up, you fat shaming. Okay, fine. You know what happens? I hope I meet you one day. Because if I meet you one day, I'm going to Kevin Owens and you're going to be Vince McMahon. And that's how I'm going to say hi to you. Big fucking headbutt. Hello, son. Wow.
Fresh off the boat.
Christ.
Hard way Robbie.
If I fucking headbutted Robbie, I would fucking fall down and he would just stand there and be like, "What? Is that how you Canadians hug?"
Dude, that segment was so good. I just wish the whole show was about that, but unfortunately we're still in Raw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Reigns called him a bitch ass again. That was cool, but we can move on.
I like this. I like John Cena growing his hair. I don't know why.
He looks like a dad
every week.
Like Dad Cena.
Scruff top dad head, yeah.
But he's going back to the old city. He's going to come out with a chain next week.
He's going to drop down some basic thugonomics.
He's going to come out with some fucking sonogram pictures at this rate with the dad hair.
Jesus.
Do you think? Okay, here's a question. Do you think he's ever going to just like do another thugonomics run just for the sake of it before he retires?
I don't know. Maybe before he retires for fun.
I think he will. This supposed return of the Undertaker, by the way, at No Mercy, they're saying it's American Badass Taker. I'm like, what? That's what I just walk away at that point.
Yes, please. Just for the. I can just imagine him like driving his fucking motorbike down to the ring, just loses control.
I'm all for it as long as he comes down to Rolling by Limp Bizkit. If you're gonna do it, you got to go all in.
Oh.
Yeah, like the WWE version of that when they got like they're tired of paying royalties or whatever. Like, we'll just make our own, and it was awful. It was like the exact opposite at the time.
Imagine thinking Limp Bizkit was the high watermark. That was a dark time for Taker. But
oh my God.
This was the dark point of Raw, which is quite convenient, of Sasha Cash Me Outside Banks versus Emma.
I don't like them.
Nope. You know
I don't
what?
like
Me
either of
Me
either.
either. You know, you're exactly right. The low point of Raw first. Two women who claim is how fucking good they are. Why are they the low point of the show week after week as time goes by?
It's just they're boring. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Emma's booking's been
They're full of hot
awful,
air.
and
Can you believe that Emma's like going to be Asuka's first opponent?
is she really?
Supposedly, but then again, didn't Asuka debut against Emma? Like have
Yes.
a debut match in London, and it turned out to be pretty decent.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
Yeah, because
that
Dana
could-
Brooke managed her then or something. I think.
Yeah, so it could do a U-turn for both of them. To be fair, well, no, it could keep Asuka. Well, it could make Emma look really good again, but.
But
No,
it-
she
They
keeps
debuted
wrestling.
Nakamura against Ziggler, so that could be a fine opponent.
Yeah, that's
That'd
true.
probably work.
the match was just lifeless, and it didn't help the fact that people really just didn't seem to care at all. So, moving
I
on.
don't
Nobody
think anybody wants Sasha as a babyface. I think even the casuals at this point would rather boo Sasha than to cheer her.
I would.
But how do you solve a problem like Bailey when she comes back?
Oh God,
Ugh.
we'll need a whole
Just
other
to-
show to get through that.
I mean, I want to address the elephant in the room that isn't Nia Jax, but Sasha.
Wow.
I got somebody in my stable on that. Look at that. I look at someone like Piper Niven and I wonder why Nia Jax is on the main roster. Piper Niven is so much better.
'Cause she's not like most girls, Travis. Duh.
She's stupid.
Byron thinks so.
She's not like most girls, like other plastic little princesses.
I still do want that shirt. Just
I kind of want it
because
too, just so I could walk around my neighborhood and just be like, I'm not like most girls. And people are like,
I'm not a girl at all.
people
that one-eyed crackhead will come up to you and tell you you're gonna
No,
get stabbed
Robbie
in an
was
hour and you just walk
Robbie
away.
was the one-eyed crackhead. Although a crackhead did steal my lighter today. Well, more like they asked me if they could like borrow my lighter, and I thought they were gonna smoke a cigarette, and then they just whipped out a crack pipe like a magician whips out a quarter from behind your ear, and he just lit it up. And then when they went to hand it back to me, I saw like a thin layer of grease and film reflect in the sun. Like when you see an oil slick, like a little bit of oil in water.
Yeah.
Like that rainbow, like my lighter turned into this like rainbow of filth, and I was like, no, just dude, keep the fucking lighter. It's cool. Thank God I had a white lighter and not a black lighter, because if I had a black lighter, I'd probably have AIDS by now. There must have been AIDS on that fucking lighter when he touched it. It was gross. Just from the contact with his skin, it turned it all oily and shit. Blech.
It could've been
Montreal,
blue.
everybody. Great place to live. Great city. You know what else was great?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's promo while Brock jumped around the ring. That was
Yeah.
pretty great.
Okay, lads. Brock Lesnar is one of the greatest workers of the 21st century.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned
segment
this. You
proved
mentioned
it.
this in the group, in the
Okay.
Kayfabe Today group chat. So go ahead. Take it away, Robbie.
I've been
So-
salivating this all day.
On top of, like I said, on top of Heyman's great promo, and I liked it how he ended it by calling out Strowman for the fight, and instead of being like, yeah, no mercy, yeah, suplex City. Well, when he did the whole fighters, are you ready?
Yeah, that got me.
I remember watching the promo and being like, fuck yeah, let's do this.
I watched this
I
at
was
like
like-
4 a.m. and I was falling asleep, and then like Heyman started talking, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is going to be good. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
But go on.
I was sat there I remember I was just coming home. I was just home from the gym and I was kind of tired. And I remember just being really hyped up for it, just being like, "Fighter, are you ready?" And I remember being like, "Shit, this is a really shit hot promo."
Yeah.
And like Lesnar, did his typical dance on the ring thing. And
That's all he needs to do, though. That's what's so
I
great.
I don't understand why people say, "Oh, Lesnar should talk more," because when he does, if you give him the mic, if he cuts like a whole promo, there's no point.
He doesn't need to talk.
No, because do you remember? I like when he cut a promo ages ago, or do you know when he just grabs the mic and just asks people to fight him?
Yeah.
That's all he needs to do.
Or he says,
he's a
"Suplex City,
legitimate-
bitch."
I mean, I was reading the other day that somebody, I can't remember which, it could have been Sports Illustrated, called him the most accomplished WWE heavyweight champion of all time. And I agree. And, oh shit, I've spilled my chai tea.
Settle down, Robbie.
Okay, so he does the bounce around the ring thing, and I didn't really expect Strowman to come down. No, actually I did, sorry, because I thought Strowman's not a bitch. You know, he's not
Exactly.
gonna not answer it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how they got into the actual fight, but like you went from
He just called him out, and then and then Strowman got into
yeah.
the ring, and then they just went at it.
like okay, so Lesnar reversed the the power slam, and then he went for the suplex of his own, and you could tell he was hyped up as fuck.
Well,
'Cause
Braun
he was
hit a
like, "Oh,
choke
shit."
slam on Brock first, and then he followed it up with, "Oh, that's what you just said." Sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you said that. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
and like, I mean, say what you want about Lesnar, but when he's turned on,
No, I'm good.
turned on, when he's when he's like turned on for the feud, like when he's switched on. Sorry, when he's switched on, and he's like. He's ready to feud. He's really good. You know, his facial expressions, from when he'd suplexed him, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh shit, I'm unstoppable." And then he turns around and Strowman's straight
That was
up.
beautiful.
And the guy, he literally just looked like he'd shit himself.
Well, he turned around and he was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like, you know,
Yeah.
like one of those dudes that like.
That was literally, and
Yeah.
it was like you could recognize the moment.
Well, that's so old school
when-
too. Like that's such a classic wrestling thing that
Yeah.
happens, you know. And
You could recognize the moment when Brock goes from the massive powerhouse to the massive underdog,
Yeah,
and it was
Because
just
oh,
after
yeah.
the
so
suplex.
sporadic with
Tremendous-
how they-
tremendous
how
storytelling.
Brock is, you know,
He's just great. Like, do you remember when the Undertaker turned up when he was wrestling Seth Rollins, and again he just looked like he'd shit himself.
yeah,
After he'd beat the streak. Oh, fuck it. I will always argue that Lesnar is such a big asset to WWE, and this is another
he's their
segment.
guy. He's their bread
Yeah.
and butter as far as money right now.
oh, he's the top guy, no
Yep.
doubt. And
Him
I-
and I think he's one of the only people that moved the needle, so to speak.
oh, he's
and-
definitely a
Oh,
help.
Far.
And I mean, by association, Paul Heyman
Yeah.
sells some tickets too, because his whole promo before the actual confrontation of Brock and Strowman was incredible. If I wasn't already looking forward to No Mercy, that did it. That put me over the edge. If
I
this
saw
was
a lot,
back in the
like
night,
the news last week that Heyman has a lot of stroke on how Brock is
Good.
portrayed and stuff, a lot of stuff.
good. He's doing a
I
hell of
know.
a job.
It shows. It definitely shows. Brock's segment always stand out above all every week, and it goes back to that sporadic booking, like you said, Robbie, and like we were talking about earlier today off air about patience paying off, and this is a true example of that with Brock.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's. Like, even if it's just a cool promo, I genuinely like. And this is going to sound really homosexual, but I generally just like looking at the presence of Brock when he stood there with the belt and he's just looking at the camera.
Well, he's the type of
he's
guy
just-
he's a type of guy like Hogan, like Andre. You know, big dudes that like, and I mean, I'd put Strowman in that category too. So when you have a big guy like Brock, who's usually the powerhouse, the aggressor, and you put him against a guy like Strowman, who's all of a sudden the bigger kid on the block, well, you have a built-in story right there of, oh, Goliath is now David.
Yeah,
And
Other
that's
side of the
easy
coin of that
stuff.
too, Robbie. What do you think about Strowman in this? Is he impressing you as much as Brock in this build-up?
Strowman for me is fast becoming like the turnaround of how much he improved from his
Yeah,
debut
exactly.
in 2015
Who would've
is
thought?
just magnificent.
Who would've
I don't know,
thought 2 years ago we'd be saying this.
and it was almost like I don't want to say it was overnight, but it's been 2 years since he debuted, and for 1 year he wasn't great. And
It's the Wyatt
For-
split. As soon as he split away from the Wyatts,
oh well, once he started the squash matches,
once
yeah.
he started killing people
Yeah,
again,
when it gets all the jobbers and what did everybody do? They complain. And I think you were on one of my shows way back then last year, and maybe I think I was on this show last year, and we said we're gonna have patience with it. It's paying off. Let's wait and see. And look where we're
Yep.
at now.
ahead of the curve
Yeah.
as usual. I love squash
And-
matches for a big dude. That's why I was so down for Strowman getting them, and why I was also down for Nia Jax getting them.
I was
When
gonna
they're
say,
not
what-
overdone, they can be overdone.
Yeah, they can. Like if you're doing it for 6 months, but if you do it for the first couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, you know, just have them come in, kill people, maybe get into like a slight altercation with some bigger stars here and there, and then that leads into their feud. But you have them consistently murder people on TV.
See, what helped was bigger stars that had been there for longer, i.e. Jericho, were all terrified of Strowman. Do you remember
Yeah.
when Strowman had the list
Yep.
and he just refused to give it back?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Another thing that springs to mind is Survivor Series last year. Strowman was the plan A of
Yeah.
Raw's tactic of just let Strowman eat them all, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That was like
yeah.
their #1 draft pick in storyline. They were trying to make it out to be.
Yeah, and just everything he does, like, if they let, okay, so the plan is right now, from what I've been hearing about, because this is what I wanted to find out, is that as of right now, Strowman, they've done a U-turn on the result at No Mercy, because Strowman was meant to lose but look strong, and as of right now, they're trying to find a way for Strowman to win and Brock to look strong. So that's the plan as of right now.
I'm iffy on what they're going to do. My heart says that
Yeah.
Brock's going to retain, but I think because we're going into football season, they're drastically looking to keep eyes because this is the lowest viewership of the year for them. They always get destroyed by the NFL and all that shit. And I think maybe there's a good chance Braun might walk away with it. So I'm 50-50 going into who I think is going to win.
Yeah, they need, because I mean the Hurricane, the Hurricanes this week didn't help, but they really had. Was it this week or last week?
It was the end of
must have
the end of last week.
Yeah, because the Patriots played. And they lost.
Yes.
But the ratings really were poor last week. But they improved this week, I believe, especially for SmackDown. But
Well, they had the
you know,
biggest star in the company on SmackDown, so
they're the best worker in the biz.
yeah, exactly.
But they
Becky Lynch.
Fuck off! I hate you. Don't you start. You used to be my allied brother. Now you're joining the dark side with my son. Damn you!
They needed something.
Damn that hip cool crowd.
But yeah, they needed something.
The Block Club T-shirt. You go heel.
Oh, how dare you! How dare all of you? Yeah, but I agree. I agree with everything you've been saying, Robbie. I thought this was definitely one of the high points of Raw, and it was weird because it led into one of the lower points on the card, which was Bray Wyatt versus Goldust. And where the fuck is Goldust's masterpiece he kept promising us? Where's that masterpiece?
Done. This did it. This week they ripped out my goddamn heart. They stomped it into like an old cigarette butt. I'm done with Goldust. I never knew it was Dustin Reynolds. And I just can't believe. I'm shocked.
I'm blown away. All these years we thought we knew who Goldust was, and we were just blown away. But it was terrible. Like, I don't know. The match was 2 minutes, so what do you really want either guy to do? After the match, Wyatt wipes off Goldust's face paint, which some reason triggers Balor. How dare you do that to someone's artistic interpretation? Like, I didn't get. I was like, oh no, and like, why'd you wait till he started rubbing? Like, didn't you feel like, you know, when he was beating his ass after the pinfall? Didn't you feel like saving him then? No, it's only when he started wiping off the face paint.
It's because Balor's really into kayfabe. I was like, he's ruining fucking kayfabe.
Ah, he's killing the business.
It's killing the business, bro.
He's like, Jim Cornette's gonna have a heart attack. I must stop this.
Have we ever discussed Balor's new logo? Is it me? It looks like it was drawn by a 5-year-old doing their best, but they got, like, you know, the teacher sympathized.
I know what you mean.
It's bad. It looks like shit.
What, the Balor Club logo?
No, it just is, no, the other one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
What the fuck is that? Is that Tatanka handwriting? God, above. And yes, I agree. Like, he's killing the business. Like, it was dumb for him to run out. And this segment was,
I can't stand it. As soon as it's a shame, really, because there was potential there. But as soon as Bray Wyatt comes on TV now, I'm just nope.
Well, this feud was meant to be Joe and Balor, apparently, or Joe and Balor.
Yeah, but we got that in
NXT,
NXT, and it wasn't that good. Yeah. I didn't really like their feud in NXT. I thought the main event matches that they had at the takeovers, at least, were
They always had the displeasure of having to follow really good tag matches. I think with the revival back then, and that sucked.
Story of NXT, really.
Yeah.
The mid card kills it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when Uncle Paul raids other promotions. What a good man. He'll never let us down. Then get some backstage segments with Sheamus and Cesaro talking about No Mercy, and they're a real team unlike Rollins and Ambrose, blah, blah, blah. Love those guys. Couldn't care less about the promos. Rollins and Ambrose are on commentary, and they brawl with Sheamus and Cesaro, and then Anderson and Gallows make their way out, and then everybody fights everyone in a giant brawl. I don't care. And then we go backstage, and the champs, they want to face everyone. Angle tells them to find 2 tag partners, and they have an 8-man tag tonight. So, yeah. And then they announced that Asuka is coming to Raw, which leads us into a backstage segment with Nia Jax. And she's not impressed with the promo video. Alexa arrives, and they start talking about being BFFs. And, oh, let's get on the same cycle again. It's going to be so fun. We're ladies. Girl power. And it was annoying. It was a terrible promo. I thought I had to stop myself. That cycle joke makes me laugh all the time. And then we had a Drifter segment who was there to debut a new song, which I actually liked. I don't remember what the song
sick.
was, but I thought
You're just shitting on Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's Robbie's ringtone now.
I was so into it. I was like,
I'm starting to like turn in a sense that I'm starting to like Elias Sampson or Elias. Sorry.
I think he's fucking good.
He is pretty fun, and his song this week was better. His guitar playing is improving, so I don't really care about his in-ring as long as he plays us a killer tune before the match. That's all I care about.
I saw somebody complaining, like, why has there always got to be a guy in every
Was it on the internet?
Yeah.
You saw someone complain on the internet?
No way.
I was shocked.
I'm done.
Dude, what did I tell you about lying on the podcast?
He was saying that he doesn't like that there has to be one guy in each era that plays the guitar. But this guy's great. I can't wait for the day that he inevitably...
There really does. Honky Tonk Man, Jeff Jarrett, Elias. There does. It's true.
Well, I think there should be more.
New Jack. That counts. He had a guitar.
He didn't play it very often. He pawned it for crack once, but...
He pawned it for crack a couple times, but that counts. He still had it in his hands in a ring.
But he always kept the go. Oh, I can never let you go. Can never let you go. He had a pretty uneventful match. Elias, that is, had a pretty uneventful match with Kalisto, who I don't care about, so it's kind of sad.
Neither
then
does the company.
Sorry,
so
what was that?
It's okay.
What was that?
Neither does the company. They could give two shits about
There you
Kalisto.
go. Exactly. Build a wall.
I like his theme music still.
Yeah, it was all right. I liked his old one better. This was pretty good. The destruction of John Cena by Braun Strowman, who beat the living shit out of him for most of this match. Looking dominant as hell.
Made total sense.
And the power slam at the end, leading to the DQ. The power slam on the steps from Strowman to Cena. I know a lot of that impact is taken away from your feet and shit, but god damn.
Yeah.
It was pretty...
I gotta say, shout out to WWE for actually shocking me and booking this the way it fucking should be. They made Strowman look
a lot of
strong.
sense.
Cena's established that this didn't hurt Cena. He's still gonna be fine. It didn't hurt his character. This was great. I liked it.
Yeah, I was a big fan
Again,
of seeing
Cena.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Robbie.
The underdog.
Yeah, and I liked how he didn't... I mean, he won, but only because Strowman was just out there to hurt him. You know, he didn't win because he's Super Cena, and he just... if Strowman wouldn't have gotten the DQ, he would have completely dominated John Cena, which is crazy to think about. And it's a hell of a way to build a guy. You give Cena the win, but, you know, Strowman is the real winner, you know? Yeah. So I thought this was a really, really good match, too. It was just nice to see... I love his drop kicks. This one wasn't particularly amazing, but I like them. They're fun.
He has such a good fucking nip up. I love when he does that.
Yeah. He does a lot of things that he probably shouldn't be able to, which is cool. It's kind of like reminds you of a young Big Show.
He has a hell of a Tinder account, I hear.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That's a good finisher.
Who?
Strowman.
Oh, I believe his tagline is something like "lift weights and eat steaks."
Yeah,
or something like that.
That's right. That's Robbie has that tattooed across his chest.
Underneath, no regrets.
Oh yeah, no regrets. God. And then we had Miz TV with Enzo, which was basically, here Enzo, let me bend you over and fuck you in the ass for 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought this was well, I mean, I don't know what they're doing with Enzo. It's interesting though, because Miz comes out with his wife Maryse and the Miztourage, and he makes the announcement that Maryse is pregnant, and he's about to do a big long sentimental speech, but Enzo interrupts him, which was typically a heel thing to do, but people loved it because they hate the Miz. Then the Miz made a lot of serious points about how nobody likes, and I mean, they brought up the stuff about, you know, the stuff you read on the dirt sheets about him getting kicked out of locker rooms, kicked off the WWE bus in Europe, all that shit.
They went there.
Yeah, they got
and then some.
And I really felt like Enzo, and not, look, I can be objective here. I really felt like Enzo didn't really have much to say back besides like, oh, you copied everyone, which is the equivalent of somebody on YouTube saying, oh, you're just doing it for the views. It's like every wrestler copies everybody.
So they're trying to book him like the baby face, and he's totally not doing baby face
really
things.
He interrupted at the time that a heel would interrupt as well.
Yeah, exactly. Everything he's doing is heel work, but because of his charisma and because people just like him for some unknown reason, he's still a babyface. This led to a match.
The floodgates of hate are definitely opened up a lot more since him apparently straying from Liv Morgan. I don't know, that's alleged, but I've seen a lot, especially when he was on Raw this week on Twitter, my timeline. Everyone hates Enzo now, it seems.
Really? So once again, boys here at the Kayfabe Today podcast, we're ahead of the curve.
Supposedly he cheated on Liv Morgan.
I'd believe that. Look at him.
And now Liv Morgan and Tyler Bate are becoming a thing.
Yeah, and I heard on like Ryback's podcast, he had heat because he paid like 10 grand for his ringside seat at Mayweather McGregor or something. There's a photo of him I saw.
He has heat.
I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Well, that I think is stupid because he earned that money, so it's up to him what he wants to fucking do with it. Like,
exactly.
If you get heat for something you did with your own money, like, okay, it's first of all completely legal. He didn't break any laws with what he did with it. It's not like he bought like 10 grand worth of cocaine and getting into the coke biz. You know, he just bought a fucking ridiculously overpriced ticket to see a ridiculously overhyped fight. It's not the smartest thing in the world, but to have heat over that, that's ridiculous. That sounds, I believe that more than anything else because that sounds 100% Vince McMahon.
Like, it's a petty excuse and it's a lazy way to, pan a guy if you don't like him.
I actually kind of have some sympathy. The more they're building him like this and the more that they reveal kind of like the backstage stuff, which kind of sounds like it's real.
Oh, the backstage, the heat on Enzo?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not very real.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the heat, the supposed heat to me seems like Enzo just isn't a guy that's going to kiss anybody's ass. He's his own man. He's not going to fall in line as some corporate schmuck. I don't know what it comes off like to anybody else.
No, I think a lot of it is he's not doing anything like knowingly being a dick. I think that's just how he is. And there's something to be said about people who just are who they are. Like, you got to respect that in a way, even if the dude's really fucking annoying. You're like, well, at least he's him. He's not trying to be like something he's not. So, I mean, I guess you can look up to that. But his 10-minute promos where he just talks piss me off. So, fuck Enzo.
That's on them, though, for giving him too much mic time and not cutting off the time when it's going down.
But, like, this week, I felt like there was an opportunity here for Enzo to kind of rise up to a new level because The Miz is so good on the mic, and I just feel like he missed the mark.
I do too.
Like,
I agree.
I feel like in that segment, Enzo had no chance. Like the way it was written.
There's that too. But
Enzo could have come out and said he was donating £1 million to the victims of Hurricane Irma, and done all sorts, and shown picture of him kissing babies and hugging fat chicks, and they would have still booed him out the building.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it did him any favors. I don't know what they're trying to portray him as with like showing him backstage with Neville laughing at him. He looks so pathetic.
Think about this. Like, he's going for a title at No Mercy, and he just got his ass handed to him. Granted, by 3 men. Yeah, he got his ass handed to him. And then, I know, Robbie, that was very gay of me.
Enzo is now Piper Perry.
Ooh. God damn. Or Paige.
Or Patterson, depending on your viewpoint.
Hi-yo! Equality here on the Kayfabe Today podcast. God, that was pretty good. No, but this whole Enzo situation, I find the backstage stuff more interesting than what we're getting on TV. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's fun.
I think maybe that's why they're transitioning it more to the actual television.
And I don't know. I don't know if they're booking him so that we end up hating him, but the more that this goes on and the more that he gets shit on about real-life things on live TV and kind of is set up to fail in terms of this promo segment, I kind of have a little sympathy for him, and it makes me like him a bit more than I did yesterday. So I don't like that.
I think he's gonna get squashed by Neville in a way. No Mercy. I don't think he's gonna look good. I think Neville's gonna retain.
Yeah, I don't know, because 205 Live does seem to be doing better now with Enzo on it. So I don't know if they're going to... I don't know if they hate... Well, I was just about to say, I don't know if they would sabotage one of their own guys for the sake of a petty... some petty bullshit. But then I was like, oh, wait, this is WWE. Never mind.
Because he likes boxing.
But yeah, then after that, as Travis mentioned, after the match, they show Enzo backstage while Neville laughs at him. And I love the laugh that Neville does. Such a fake laugh, but I don't know. I just really like it. Ha, 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 ha.
It's a horrible, like, Super Friends cartoon villain laugh.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I think I did it pretty. I'm a pretty good Neville laugh impersonator.
Oh yeah, it's because didn't he like completely shit on Neville during this like promo, like Enzo? No.
On the Miz.
Didn't the Miz? Yeah.
Is that Kayfabe or not? By the way, is she really pregnant? Is that confirmed?
I don't know.
Yeah, she is.
I'm imagining. Yeah, I imagine that. Yeah,
I believe so. Because that'd just be fucking weird.
Start looking at the titties, boys. We'll know in a couple weeks.
There you go.
I mean, I just ask. But.
I wouldn't. What, when you see Maurice just casually in the street, you'll ask her next time, Robbie? Or do you have her on
a tweet as we speak?
You have her on speed dial?
Dear Maurice, argue preggers. Lots of love, Robbie.
Robert. No, sign it to Kayfabe Today podcast. Get her name out there. Fuck.
Roderick Rafford.
Oh boy. Boys, you want to talk about the main event here? 8-man tag. Ambrose, Rollins, Hardy, and the two Hardys versus Cesaro, Sheamus, Anderson, and Gallows. I'm
so sick of the club.
Oh, wait a minute. The way that they sum this up here in the review on 411 pretty much sums up how I feel. This was a house show main event at best, slow, sloppy at times, and just no real energy to it. It was a match.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was a crowd pleaser that would have been better if you were there live as opposed to watching.
Should have been a dark match.
Yeah.
The idiots that paid the ticket to go. Says the guy who never misses a show when they come to Montreal. But yeah, send the people home happy. You know. But as a main event,
he hates the club apparently.
Well, yeah, who died? Like, yeah, poor Robbie.
I don't hate them, but I hate the way they've been booked. I expected so much better.
Yeah, they're really not doing anything. He'd be better off.
Yeah, she's actually pregnant, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It would have.
She just
gotten
over.
Yeah, I bet she did, Robbie. I bet she did. But yeah, no, the club it's a complete flop in my opinion.
I fucking used to love the club as well.
So
like I was so when they debuted, I dicks out and everything.
I think it's Travis that said it last week on the. I think it's Travis that said it last week on the show. But at this point, bring Chad Too Bad and Tex Ferguson in. Fuck it.
You really have to at this point.
There's nothing you can't take them seriously. Like you just can't.
Nope.
9.
So that was Monday Night Raw for the week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back on the other side of this break with our SmackDown Live, the thing that really all three of us just want to talk about. So stay tuned for that. And if you don't, come into your house and I'm shitting on your porch. Deal with it.
This is Marking Out.
Hello, it's Brandon.
And Dave.
And we do a weekly pro wrestling podcast called Marking Out.
And you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and markingout.com.
You guys are awesome.
As always.
We have returned. Robbie's still bleeding. He's lightheaded, but he asked me if he could go to the emergency room.
Is this on?
Oh, he's making his triumphant return.
Sorry, I just had to press play.
live from the ER. We have Robbie here, the hardest working man at Kayfabe Today. We also have Travis here, who's Mr. Reliable, the other half of the Can-Am Delights. And we're going to talk about SmackDown, because SmackDown was one of my favorite wrestling shows of the year this week. Because my hero finally fought back against the evil conspiracy, but we'll get to that. Right now, what we're going to be discussing is the official results. All right, boys, strap yourselves in. Here comes some results, some hot results, right here on Kayfabe Today podcast. I don't know why I'm whispering. U.S. title match champion AJ Styles defeated Ty Dillinger at 7 minutes and 25 seconds via submission. SmackDown Tag Team Title Las Vegas Street Fight match. Jesus, I had to take a break between that. Have a little lunch. The New Day defeated champions the Usos at 11:25 via pinfall. That was shocking. The SmackDown Women's Title match. Champion Natalya defeated Naomi at 7:07 via submission. And then apparently this was your main event. Yeah, it was the last match before the epic confrontation between Vince McMahon and Kevin Owens. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin defeated the Hype Bros at
Benjamin.
Benjamin like Beckham at 2 minutes and 30. That's how you turn a lemon into lemonade, boys. At 2 minutes 32 versus via pinfall. God, I hate what they did to Zack Ryder. But
okay,
whoa! Look at this guy trying to take the reins of the show. Easy now. No, what do you want? What do you
I'm
want?
just gonna say, in a way, this show felt like a pay-per-view.
Oh shit, Travis! Oh, there we go. He's back. Okay,
I'm here.
go ahead.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, just felt like a pay-per-view. I don't know why.
What, SmackDown?
Yeah, if you looked at all the matches and then the end segment, I don't know why, but I walked away partly feeling like it was a pay-per-view.
Well,
I was that happy with the show.
It could have been special, just called like Sin City or something.
Yeah, do it all.
It
in
was
black
good
and
though.
white. The show started off with the Kevin Owens show, where he welcomes us all, and he says something that we should. It's that he welcomes us all to. My God, I'm having a stroke. Kevin Owens welcomes us all to the Kevin Owens show, and he says that it's something that we should get used to following the actions, the heinous, disgusting, disrespectful actions from Shane McMahon last week on SmackDown. Now, he didn't retaliate due to the fact that Shane attacked him, and he respects authority, which is true. Kevin Owens is a big fan of authority. Robbie? Now, he says he's going to sue the McMahons and everyone involved, and this will be the Kevin Owens show featuring Kevin Owens. Also, Kevin Owens. There will be changes. Sami Zayn, gone. Tom and Byron, well, they'll have to wear the same suit. 2 guys, 1 suit, since they sound the same, according to Owens. I fucking loved Corey Graves' face. I took a screen cap of it because he looked like a guy who got a girl's number, but his 2 friends tried first to get it and failed. Because he's just smirking and laughing at them. I'll send it to you guys after. It's fucking great. Corey Graves is the best. Then he says that the Fashion Files will be canceled forever. They're done. Finished. Get off my show. But now he needs to talk with Mr. McMahon, and he calls him out, which I thought was pretty big. But it's Dolph Ziggler who comes out dressed as Shane McMahon. He does his new gimmick where he imitates everyone. And, yeah, that was pretty much the segment until Daniel Bryan made his made his way to the ring dressed like a sensible father. I'm sorry that they're talking a lot about the clothes in this review, and it's pretty funny. He's like, Daniel Bryan now arrives wearing some sensible dad slacks. The crowd appreciates his choice of pants and is also happy to see him. Bryan says that he still runs the show and says that the fun and games will be over very soon. Owens promises that Bryan will remain on as a janitor when he takes over, and Bryan's actually fine with this because he'll be one step closer to getting back in the ring. Great comeback. Bryan promises that Vince will be here soon, and Owens won't like what he has to say. Owens responds and says that he can't wait for him to get there, and promises Vince won't like what he has to say. It was a fun segment. A lot of
people are coming out and saying, like, this whole angle, a lot of shots are being written in towards CM Punk. A lot of this is towards...
Yeah, I've read that too. Or I saw the same episode of Wrestle Talk News.
I don't know.
I'm not so sure.
That's the whole basis of it too. Like it's written after a real life Punk thing or whatever.
Well, that's interesting. I'd have to go back and rewatch that video. I must have been distracted when it was playing because I remember seeing the video. I just don't remember what the correlations were exactly. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, and it's working. It's been fun. So, but we'll get back to Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon later on in the show.
Yes, we will.
But for right now, we have a U.S. title match between champion AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger. I want these guys to have a 20-minute match. This was only 7:25.
Match. What a match! I did not expect this caliber out of Ty Dillinger, and then shout out to him.
Damn fun match. I thought Ty Dillinger looked great. AJ Styles, we don't really need to say it, was great. But I thought this was really, really fun. Great way to keep the energy going after a pretty hot promo. My only complaint was that they didn't get enough time. Only 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Like I said, I'd love for them to go 20 minutes. I don't think I'd get bored of that. But yeah,
that makes room for the rematch, though. Maybe in a way.
I'm hoping. I want a full blown feud. You know, like one of those respect feuds where Ty Dillinger turns heel at the end. I think that'd be cool. Post-match, Corbin attacks Styles and Ty Dillinger, laying out Styles with the end of days to set up our next title match. And Corbin says that next week he'll be challenging for the United States Championship. Then we had an interview backstage with Rusev. He said he was embarrassed at SummerSlam and when he returned to Bulgaria to recharge, but instead he was looked at as a failure. Tough family. Rusev says that he is not a loser, but knows what he has to do to get back his fire. He must break a legend or let his hair grow back out so he matches his action figure. Either one works.
I thought he was going to go to ringside and challenge Betty Skolin, the old woman, the widow of Arnold Skolin, who always hugs John Cena.
Toss her over the barricade.
Yeah.
Come here, you old broad.
It would get eyes on the product, Pally.
There you go. TMZ would be all over that.
Yeah.
Then we had the Sings introduce Jinder Mahal and blah, blah. I hated this promo. I really didn't like it. He kept making terrible jokes, and the Singh brothers were laughing like it was Bill Burr on stage or something.
It's funny when you go back and you try to like catch up real quick on like on their channel, on their YouTube channel, the WWE Top 10 of SmackDown and Raw. This was on there. I was like, this made the list. Like one of the bad jokes was on the top 10 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
But it was such a good week for the company. I don't know why any of this.
Well, pretty much the gist of it was Jinder did a shitty job of equating Nakamura to like the fans will turn on you because you're foreign.
That was so fucking stupid.
Well, what did you guys think of the picture? No, it's fine. I'm going to let you talk. I just wanted to get this out so you get see where your guys' head's at. But what do you guys think of Jinder Mahal taking a picture of Nakamura and photoshopping it on top of Godzilla and saying Godzilla, Godzilla? Like I was like, oh, it's a good thing you're not white, Jinder. Holy shit! It's a good thing you're brown. He's wearing a brown shield of protection right now. Yeah, holy shit! Could you imagine if a white guy was like, "Oh, Hero Shinsuke, Hero," like, god damn.
Like, can you imagine if like AJ, well not AJ, but like, yeah, people would flip the fucking tables.
Hell yeah, man, they'd be pissed.
Like this,
Antifa would firebomb the next arena WWE was in.
Antifa would hijack the Performance Center.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They just I don't know what they did with this. I don't know who thought it'd be a great idea for a guy that says he's been challenged.
Probably some fucking white guy writer. That's who said it. I guarantee you.
Because of the color of his skin,
more
he's
bad
different.
taste and an easy way out for fast eyes. Because you got to figure they knew they were going to get more extra eyes for the Mae Young Classic finals immediately following, and they did that with 205. They did a lot of things on 205 Live this week. They turned Jack Gallagher heel. They did some big storyline things there as well because they knew they had the eyes. I think that's why they had comments like this. A lot of things, especially with the Owen stuff later. But generally, I like that. We need more of that. And Broski, you said it earlier. It felt like an old episode of Raw, and that's not a bad thing.
97, the way it used to end on a brawl, or it used to end with a big moment that was like, oh shit, I gotta watch next week.
As cliche as that becomes, and every time you hear someone go, "Oh, the Attitude Era," and immediately you want to be like, "Oh, again." But really, there's a reason why it's so cliche and so overused because it really was good more times.
Well, there's simple things that they did back then that they don't do anymore, and it's as
so see.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you could have like the segments and maybe not the sort of like misogyny as much, but like the cutting edge kind of segments.
Oh, you need the misogyny. The misogyny was the best part.
I think you need the misogyny definitely because it's pro wrestling. These guys aren't fucking florists.
I'm just saying, toss me a pillow fight every once in a while. Toss me some bitches and some goo. Come on, every once in a while. I know Pornhub exists, but sometimes you don't want to go all the way. Sometimes you just want a little temptation, a little titillation, if you will. Emphasis on the tit.
I hate to break it to you, but Stephanie herself, she sees that kind of shit come back, unfortunately. That whole women's I am a whistle and the Mae Young Classic song and all that shit.
That was an amazing and
of course Stephanie had to be out there for the ceremony when Kyrie's saying, well, of course. You know what I mean? It's just that's a part of wrestling that'll never come back in that company at least.
Travis, didn't you know that Stephanie McMahon founded women's wrestling?
Yeah, she's the whole yeah. No one wrestled before Stephanie.
Yeah,
she
never.
Not only founded women's wrestling, she's my inspiration to start podcasting. She's a tremendous person.
Mae Young's a social construct.
Oh my god. The matriarchy is taking over WWE. That damn matriarchy. It's killing us, boys. Emasculating
She's just
us.
like So the name Mae Young, if you say it backwards, it's just a hidden agenda for Stephanie McMahon.
Jesus Christ, that's some
But
Illuminati
I think
shit.
misogyny, as far as in your characters, that cocky, arrogant prick, is these guys are wrestlers. They don't need to be talked down to from a Stephanie as an authority figure. It's time these guys did what Owens did, acted like guys used to act to authority figures who weren't active in the ring and smaller than them. Take advantage of them if you're a heel, so to speak.
So do you remember how they all used to just like completely bully Sergeant Slaughter?
Yes. They made fun of his chin. They put on rain guards for like his spit, for fuck's sake, when DX did that.
Didn't they have little wipers on them too?
Yes.
God, that shit was classic. And then every time you would talk, they would like dodge his spittle. God damn.
They treated Slaughter like he was 90 pounds, and he was only 4 years removed, I think, or something at that point from being WWF champion. Not a lot.
No, they treated him like shit.
And they treated him like shit, and he never got his heat back because he was an authority figure.
And you're not supposed to. But what are you going to do? Old times. Can't live in the past. Got to look to the future.
Exactly.
We had another backstage segment where Owens asked to, talk to Sami Zayn, and he said he would rather go back and wrestle in old gyms than work for Owens. So that was cute. Then we had the main event in terms of wrestling, the SmackDown Tag Team. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, it wasn't the main event. The SmackDown Tag Team title Las Vegas Street Fight match. Christ, where the champions, the Usos, had another really good match with the New Day. I enjoyed this.
It was really good.
In terms of street fights, whatever. But I thought the match itself was really, really good.
These two teams, I said on my post-show live stream on my channel the other day, we talked about this match. I really like the match. The even Steven isn't bothering me because these two teams are starting to remind me of when the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs. You can't really think of one without thinking of the other. I love the rivalry, and I think it needs to end at Hell in a Cell.
And there's such polar opposites. You got the goofy, colorful New Day against the kind of like, gangsta hood.
Serious.
Uso,
I really like, and I think it's because I've not watched SmackDown live for like 3 months. I really fucking like the Usos theme tune.
Yeah, I like it too.
Now it's got lyrics over it.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
I like it too. And this was a really good match. It was basically a pay-per-view match on free TV. So I guess it helps to understand how Robbie said at the top of the review how he came away from the show like it was a pay-per-view. And with matches like this, with matches like this, it's not hard to understand why. And then we got
Do you guys think Kofi should stop doing the free fall spot? Do you think it's kind of jumped the shark? Because it's not really a move you would do realistically. It's you're meant to be caught because
I think in the terms in the context of him being in the New Day, I don't think it matters because
it's showboaty aspect of it. I kind of agree too.
Kind of cartoonish, kind of silly. You wouldn't actually do that in a fight, but in the context of wrestling and their gimmick, I think it makes sense. But if he had a more serious gimmick, totally, he should drop it. But because of the New Day gimmick, I think it works. But if they drop that, then he should stop doing it because it wouldn't make sense. Up next, we had the women's title match, champion Natalya versus Naomi. I don't know why or when it happened. I've just really soured on Naomi. And as soon as her entrance is over, I don't care anymore.
I think it was when they debuted that belt, it soured a lot of people, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because so many people take the belt so seriously.
I'm not usually one of the belt. I'm not a belt mark, so that I didn't like the glow up title, and I did think it was, but that's not the reason that I don't. I think it's her fucking fans. I think it's her fans that did it to me.
That means you're a massive racist.
Yeah, apparently a racist and a misogynist because she's of color. And a woman.
And it
talk about having two strikes.
It sounds that like Broski's coming across harsh, but if you do kind of like criticize Naomi, somebody will find your tweet and accuse you of being a racist.
And WWE, they've picked up on that. In 2K18, there's a feature like the harder the difficulty, the darker your character will be.
That's from South Park.
God.
Do it in WWE, Jesus Christ.
Titus O'Neil was just like top difficulty.
Jesus.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Did you guys?
Ahmed Johnson is like fucking Akuma in Street Fighter in that.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, but as
make
far
sure to subscribe to Hibiki. No, I'm sorry.
Hey, wait till the end of the show. We have a whole part of the show that's dedicated to pimping our own shit. Go subscribe to the Hibiki TMD right now for all kinds of great misogyny. Oh wait, no, that's here. Sorry.
Right before I go hang myself now.
Digging ourselves a hole, boys. At least I've dug it big enough for all three of us.
Dave,
I thought it was a flat. I thought it was a flat match. Not much to talk about. We get a couple more
as
backs.
happy as I was for Natalia, it's not setting my world on fire with her at the belt right now.
No, her T-shirt pissed me off. It's dumb.
It's stupid.
This is about a cat.
It's a Tim and Eric episode on a shirt.
Pretty much, yeah.
Imagine the day when that cat dies.
Jesus Christ, she'll have a funeral. But one thing that we thought we'd have, I was gonna try to turn the funeral into a Dolph Ziggler career transition, but it didn't work. Failed. Dolph Ziggler was next, and he started playing karaoke with the entrances, and he did. And he did the Ultimate Warrior, which got a lot of people upset.
I loved it because Dana Warrior was there.
That's what.
Ultimate
Me
Warrior
too.
was a piece of shit, guys. Get over it.
Yeah.
He was a bigot and a bad person.
Yeah, he was. He's a piece of shit.
He was.
So
He
fuck
was.
him. And
The
the fact that they make him into some sort of heroic figure right now is kind of a shame because he's.
Oh, it's because Hulk Hogan said racial slurs. That's why Hulk Hogan's Warrior's in that position right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
somebody
Hulk's not
fucked
there.
up worse than he did. So congratulations.
And that's the next best they have is like their figurehead is Ultimate Warrior. God.
Yeah. So.
And by the way, shout out, guys. Oh, we forgot to see Ric Flair is out of the hospital. He tweeted. Shout out to
No, that's
Nate.
true, and he's doing better. I love that shirt that he has.
I'm not dead yet, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's if there ever was a Ric Flair shirt, that's it. Just needs a
I saw
limousine.
people on Twitter, by the way, on that topic, like, man, Flair looks terrible. Come on, is he really going to go? Like, give the guy a break.
Like,
he just
what
beat
the-
death.
Jesus Christ! Oh, you were on the brink of death a week ago. Why don't you look good, you piece of shit?
I bet he's they were like, no, it's like the equivalent of like, I bet he's going to go to a signing now because he can't help it because he needs the money. Like, give the man a fucking break.
Jesus Christ!
Bastards.
I really like the Ziggler angle that they're doing now. I like the chip on his shoulder, the heel type thing.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
like
good. It's the best thing he's been doing since pretty much, for the last year or two maybe.
If you're going to do
I don't know,
impersonate gimmick, though, you need a wig.
That's true.
I will say that this is the best thing he's done since being involved with the
Oh, with the Miz, yes, that's true. That was really good as well.
The last match or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. This brings us to our main event in terms of matches: Gable and Benjamin versus the Hype Bros. It was a 2-minute and 32-second match. What the fuck are we supposed to say about it? It was all right, I guess. I like Gable and Benjamin together. I'd like to see them in a match that's longer than 5 minutes to see how they gel, but I think they'll do fine.
I really like
the revival. Sorry.
I really like them as a team more than Jordan and Gable probably.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hot take right there. I just really like those guys together. I like that it's a veteran and a young guy, and the stories they could tell off of that.
Well, Gable is such a good worker that you put him with somebody who's already proven he can go, like Shelton Benjamin. You're going to get some really good matches. I'm really interested to see them move up a bit, get into matches with the New Day, get into matches with the Usos especially.
Yeah.
See how that goes. Should be
Shelton
pretty good.
just doesn't fucking age, apparently. It looks
No,
like
he looks
2005
great.
Shelton.
When he came out, I was like, God damn, he looks better. He looks better now than he did. Remember when he went through like the gold standard stuff? With the gold hair? I mean, that goes without saying because the gold hair was fucking awful.
He did the natural Butch Reed hairstyle.
Yeah, but he looks really, really good. So, boys, are you ready? We're finally going to talk about it. When Vince met Kevin. Segment of the year. Holy shit, what a segment. We first started off with Vince fat-shaming Owens. I didn't think was appropriate. How dare. That's his employee he's talking about.
Did you like how Vince backpedaled off of that? Like, he kind of swerved on that? Like, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, because, I thought that he said that. And I thought people are going to think I'm fat shaming.
Yep.
And then he was like, look at yourself.
That was, if he meant to do that too, it's Vince. That was brilliant Vince stuff right there.
Oh, yeah, that was great. That was great. Robbie and I said it in the chat today, in the Kayfabe Today chat, that personally I think in terms of heel work, of getting heat, of drawing despite being a heel, Vince McMahon is probably the best character in the history of WWE, maybe of wrestling. He's
the best heel of all time.
Sure.
I mean, and if we want to take him out of the, he might not be the best heel in terms of a wrestler, but just in terms of performer and just the ability to take a group of like 20,000 people and instantly get them to hate you. I don't think there's anybody better.
One of the best things he ever did was when they played the Undertaker's music and he came out.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think one of the best heel promos of all time is that "Life Sucks" and then you die promo with him and DX in the ring back in the day. So
or
good.
I mean, let's be honest. It all started with Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sit-down interview with Jim Ross with the black guy right after the screw job was
like I think because it's been so long, people don't remember. But the PR move that was, the way he took what it could have potentially been an absolute disaster, and spin that into fucking untold heights that wrestling had never been to up until that point. That was all Vince McMahon. He's a fucking evil genius. And at 72 years old, he's taken unprotected head bumps and being busted open the hard way. He's a fucking lunatic. He should teach Ambrose how to be crazy, and we all benefit from how insane that man is. This promo was fucking amazing.
This just catapulted Kevin Owens in the history books.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was the question that we got from Jason, asking us, was this the segment that catapulted Kevin Owens into that like main event, next level, top guy spots? And I said, you know what? Actually, we were just talking about this before. We're going to talk about it during the show. Yes, 110%. This brought Kevin Owens to a whole different level. Like, I'm talking Stone Cold level here, because he's feuding with Vince McMahon. And yes, it's going to lead to a Hell in a Cell match against Shane, but you fucking headbutted Vince McMahon. Did you guys see the bump? Instantly fucking swell up. What a crazy fuck. And the shot to the ribs where Owens kicked him in the ribs. Everything looked really, really stiff. And I bet Vince...
flat out, it was incredible that Vince would do that, take that risk.
My favorite part was right before he headbutt him. You can see Vince. He knows it's coming. And the fucker is smiling. I haven't felt this kind of...
Stuck his head out.
I haven't gotten a boner in 10 years, pal. It's finally shifting.
My actor's not working. Wait at me.
I like how Kevin Owens is involved in some of like he's one of the guys that is always involved in important segments.
Yep.
Okay, so when he first debuted on the main roster, he pop-up powerbombed Cena, which made him a big deal.
And then
he
stepped
beat
on the
Cena
US
in his
title,
debut.
which I think
he stepped on the US title and then beat Cena in his debut. And then he was involved in one of the greatest heel turns in WWE's recent history with Jericho.
Yeah.
And
God,
that catapulted him from a top guy champion to a hated. Granted, it was maybe for about a week, you know.
No, he still gets booed off of that, dude. He still gets booed more than he got. More than he gets cheered, more than he used to. If you go back and when he debuted, it was mostly cheers after the Festival of Friendship, and it still maintains today. He's getting more consistently booed.
Also, that great turn he did at NXT TakeOver on Sami Zayn the night he debuted. That was tremendous too.
I guess the moral of the story is don't trust Kevin Owens. He's going to turn on you and make tons of money.
The best part about Owens to me, like that mirror comment this week, people come out in arms like, "Oh God, I can't believe they said that to Owens." Owens doesn't care. Owens probably wants those comments because it gives him heel heat.
Hell yeah. And he could always.
Owens knows. They both know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, it was two guys who are on the top of their game. Well, maybe not like, and I think you're the one who said it, Robbie, in the chat. Say what you want about Vince McMahon's booking, and say how out of touch he is. He had the finger on the pulse in that segment. He knew exactly what needed to be done, and he's just a crazy bastard to do it.
They call him out of touch, but you know, he knows in 2017 what to do to get a guy straight to the top of the card and stay there.
Do you guys think Vince misses performing?
He said, I know Meltzer commented on it. He said that he would love to do it, but he thinks that people of his age are too old to be regular characters.
And he's not wrong.
Vince looks back at that Royal Rumble spot where he blew both his quads and is like, well, probably not the best idea.
Yes, I had a good run, pal.
Yeah.
But no, this segment was unpredictable. It was crazy. It set up a Hell in a Cell match, so we're gonna, it's continuing. And Travis mentioned, like I mentioned, it felt like I didn't feel like a pay-per-view like Robbie, but what I did feel like was when I used to run home from school on Tuesday afternoons at 4 p.m. to watch Raw. And by 6 p.m., I was like, oh, my God, I can't wait till next Tuesday. I can't wait.
Now the fallout, the aftermath, the next week, it's going to be interesting.
Exactly, and that's what's going to keep you coming back. See, that's what Raw was so good at in the Attitude Era. Well, I have to watch next week now, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. And then we saw Stephanie come out, of course. And I saw our buddy Kieran, I think, posted today that the rumors Stephanie's going to take in the GM role now for Shane. Ugh.
No, I don't want that. No, I don't want her. I don't want her cancer all over SmackDown.
See, what's also interesting is that Kevin Owens was like, he did a lot of, he's like, well, Stephanie, when he was like,
yeah, Stephanie
would do this. Yeah. And then one of the first people that disapproved of Kevin Owens' actions on Tuesday night was Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. And she did not look happy. She had her emasculate when ready face.
I mean, it's her father, for Christ's sakes. That does make sense that she would, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, it makes total sense.
It's like that Kevin Owens has been, like, preferencing Stephanie.
Well, like, he's been kind of using her as an ally when she's really not.
Yeah. Right.
And now I'm really excited to see what happens with Owens. It should be really fun. And that was SmackDown, boys and girls.
SmackDown was fun.
SmackDown was a lot of fun. SmackDown was top to bottom. The women's match, I'm sorry to be such a hateful, misogynist piece of shit. The women's match was kind of a low point for me, but not worse than the gender segment with its very, very obvious racism. like God, I just can't get it. Like, I can't. Like, in 2017, we live in a world where if a white guy said that, Antifa would firebomb it. But because the guy's brown, no one's going to make a fuss.
And they know it too, and that's why they're doing it.
Yeah,
they know.
They know what kind of political world we live in. They know what kind of like sensitivities are out there about people of color and shit like that. And the whole political landscape in the U.S. is crazy, and it's all about identity politics and shit like that. So they hit it. I mean,
it's a company they're in good with Trump too, so they can get away with certain things.
There you go. Daddy will bail them out. No worries.
Yep.
So we've reached the end of another show. This is the part of the show where we get to whore each other out, which is my favorite part of the show. So, Robbie, what do you do on the internet, and where can people find you?
Well, as you know, I'm back in the UK, so I'm officially back writing. I actually wrote the Raw review. I
saw that, Robbie. I was very proud papa when I saw your @ next to the Raw review.
Yeah. I wrote the Raw review this week, which means I'm back. Writing reviews, and I'm really enjoying it. But you can only find those reviews exclusively at kayfabetoday.com. I've only got one thing to plug this week. And believe it or not, it's Strong Style Clothing.
No.
Don't do that. Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Oh, do you want me to do the thing?
Yeah, do you have your new promo written?
I don't.
Well, what the fuck did you do all week? You had one thing. You had one job.
We've had some difficulties, lads. But
Robbie had to pun.
If you want to go to a ring, walk around the ring,
wrestle in a ring,
wrestle in the. Oh, there we go.
You forgot
wrestle in the ring. Go shopping for a wedding ring. Buy an onion ring. Blade till dry. Hit the Pania. Wrestle at WrestleMania. Give a bit of colour. Or even...
Give a little color for your... No, you should have said give a little color for that good brother. Come on.
Oh.
You know what? I don't know if...
Strong Style. They make clothes. Go buy their shit. Travis, where can people find you on the internet? And what do you do there?
That is... No. It's unacceptable, lads.
Well, when you don't fucking live up to the level of promo that I know you can cut, when you don't live up to that, Robbie, I get very, very insulted, and I want to throw it to someone who can actually talk.
Hey, wait, we 205 lived him. We expect them to do his best at the end of a SmackDown show or something to that effect. In a dead crowd. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheBigTMD. As here on Kayfabe Today, check out the reset button on my channel, Slam Pigs Podcast, Slam Pigs Cruise Control, and in the future, Grapple Listen. And I just did a video with a good buddy. You were also on V at Social Injustice Wear on YouTube, getting to wear skirts and all that goodness.
Oh, yeah, your makeup. Travis dressed up as a headbanger today, and his fucking makeup and his outfit really was on point. That was fantastic. I would have
And
loved
that
to
should drop in the next couple of days.
I would
So
have
look for that.
loved. I would have loved for like your mailman or somebody from like the government to come to your house while you're dressed like that. You're like, what? I'm filming
I
a
filmed
YouTube
a good
video.
portion of it. Like I went out back in my yard to film a good portion. It's open, like with my neighbor's yards. I had to like look both ways real quick to make sure nobody was out.
That's
I'm
awesome.
not
I can't wait to
out,
see
man.
that. That'll be on the Social Injustice Warrior. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description. And here's a little scoop, Travis. I don't know if he wants me to say it or not, but who cares? I'm going to be in another video with V. We're going to talk about Papa Shango, because the angle of Papa Shango and the Ultimate Warrior, where Shango made Warrior throw up.
Oh, there's nothing like good old fashioned vomit in your wrestling.
Dude, that shit. Because when I was a kid, even the thought of throwing up gave me terrible anxiety.
Here's something you'll appreciate. When I was a kid, no shit, my co-host Slampix, my brother Michael, we were young children in my bedroom. I would pretend I was Papa Shango and I would make him cry. He would be scared to death. We were terrified of Papa Shango.
You're right.
I'm looking forward to that
Dude,
now.
I feel so much better now because I told V, I was like, dude, when I was a kid, that terrified me. And he kind of seemed like, oh, that's silly. And then I was like, oh, like he didn't.
I mean, yeah, looking back, The Godfather just went to fucking Party City and bought some makeup.
It's the Godfather off weed. He turns into Papa Shango.
Yep.
That's what I like to tell. So be sure to go check out Travis's channel. Check out our friend V's channel for all kinds of great content.
We need to get V on here someday. That would be tremendous.
Yeah, we do need to get V on here. That would be good. And of course, subscribe to the Hibiki TMD and check out Hibiki Honors. Who was it this time again? Christ, I have it on the tip of my tongue. But
it was Iron Mike Sharp got his
it.
induction into the Hibiki Honors Hall of Fame.
God, Robbie, have you checked out Travis's Hibiki Honors series yet? You should. It's like mini documentary style, under 10 minutes. Really good stuff.
We really like to pay homage to the unsung heroes of the business that paved the way for this today.
Completely tongue-in-cheek. It's fucking great. As for me, I just put out I just put it out, not thinking really anything of it. And I just put out my most viewed video yesterday of 35,000 views. So that's cool. It was for a game that was a sequel to Tennis in the Face.
Yeah, I will say your video, when I saw, because I have your notifications turned on my phone when they come up, that made my day so much better. I was like, oh no, yes, a new series that's not dead. I figured you were going to do the baseball because you teased it. You teased what you're going to do.
I did. I've been teasing things. I also bought a game on Xbox Live because the thumbnail for the game on the store was basically a anime girl with giant tits, and I was like, I want to make a thumbnail where I put my shocked face that I use in a lot of the thumbnails and put it right at boob level and make a video, because so I bought a game, and thank God it actually turns out the game is really good. It's
that's
really
how I
good.
like my game reviews. I only click on them if there's boobs on the thumbnail.
Dude, I'm right there with you. Oh yeah, we know some people like that. Yeah. But yeah, so check that out. It's on the channel. It's for the video right after this one. Check that out. If you want to support the things I do, you can do so in two ways: patreon.com/FTITM and prowrestlingtees.com/FTITM. So boys, until next week, for Robbie and Travis, my name is Eric, and this has been the Kayfabe Today Biggity podcast. If you stuck by that outro, I will send you $1 via PayPal.
You're too bad and too rad.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day.